glad that we alerted all the citizens in the suite.
All right, I think we should be live on the podcast starting soon with the sweet podcast music, PodChampion's podcast music playing right now.
Let's tweak it this week then.
They're listening to us. They can hear us.
Yes, they can.
That's okay.
It's a secret.
Starfish is hosting the stream. Sweet. All the hosts. Well, let's play that theme tune again. Alright, just getting set up here. Hello, anyone who's listening.
That really is a great tune, isn't it?
It's a beautiful tune. I just could listen to that tune all day long. Alright. Let's see. So, Pod Champions, should we start or should we wait?
Let's get started if we're ready.
Okay.
Oh, I'm ready.
You're ready? Okay, glad to hear everyone's ready. Alright, let me switch over here. Hello, and welcome to the PodChamp podcast. Episode number, we don't know because we quit counting a while back, but we're glad you're listening, and we are excited to do another fantastic cast. Today we have Alex, Anchor, Quig, and Radioactive Starfish. So I think we'll just start off as normal. Let's talk a little bit about anything fun that's happened recently, any new games we've experienced, just to get things going. Then we'll jump into a few news items. We also have on the schedule today some new Twitch analytics to talk about, and Alex has a topic here, macros and XSplit, which I know he is absolutely ecstatic and excited to talk about. So that said, Alex, tell us about your week. Have you played any new games? Anything fun?
Yeah. So I had this habit that I kicked a long time ago, and I guess I'm back on the train. I am now playing Magic: The Gathering again.
Oh, okay.
And I tried, like, I used to play it in high school, so the first time I played Magic: The Gathering was like 15 years ago, And so just now, they're getting ready to release this new set for the game, Dominaria, and so it's based in the same setting and background as those sets back then. Like, it's kind of going back to Magic's roots. So it's a really big deal. There's a lot of hype surrounding it, and so I went to, over the course of the past 24 hours, so like I went to a tournament Saturday at midnight, and then I went to 2 more during the day on Saturday. So I played 3 pre-release tournaments in 24 hours. So we played a lot of card games. Tangentially related, I also got an invite to the Magic Arena beta. And I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with that, but basically it's Magic, a digital version of Magic, but they're trying to kind of Hearthstone it. So make it a little more friendly from like a UI perspective, make it a little easier to play. I still have my share of hangups about it. Like, it's truthfully, I think that Magic is not a game that really translates to a digital format well. Like, there's a reason that Hearthstone works the way it does. The reason you can't like play instants during your opponent's turn in Hearthstone, that kind of thing. Yeah. So, yeah. But overall, I think it's a lot of fun, and I've spent probably way more money on cardboard in the past 36 hours than I'm willing to admit. But I'm having fun. Can't put a price on that, right?
No, that's cool. And for those watching on the Twitch stream live, Starfish is posting some irrelevant links in chat right now. All right. How about you, Anka? How's your week been?
My week has been great. I do have my old standby games, of course, Pokemon Go, Sims 4, Fortnite. But lately, in the past couple of weeks, I've also gotten into My Time at Portia. And I don't know how many of you guys have either watched me stream it or heard of it, but it's awesome.
Heard of this.
It is so awesome.
What kind of a game is it?
It is basically a crafting and farming simulator with hints of like an RPG thrown in. So it's kind of like Stardew Valley on steroids. You can, date the townspeople, craft all these cool items for your farm, have like livestock and crops, but then you can also like go into dungeons and like fight stuff. And it's really, really cool so far. I'm only about 8 hours in. So honestly, I've just barely scratched the surface, but it's like really cool. If like Stardew Valley is not really your jam because you were like thinking, man, I really wish I could fight stuff. Like My Time at Portia is probably for you.
Very cool. Yeah, I have not watched you play that, but Baked Snake says, My Time at Porsche does not sound like a Stardew Valley game, or do I have a dirty mind? Not that Porsche or Porsche.
It also may, like, there are 2 characters in the game who pronounce it Portia, but I refuse to pronounce it like that because I just don't. When I look at it, that's not how I read it, and I'm like, My Time at Portia, like what? It just doesn't roll off the tongue. But I don't know. There is a character in the game that does pronounce it Portia, though. So if that helps.
All right. Okay. So as far as myself, haven't been doing too much other than I must have spent about, I think, 10 hours in the last week, maybe a little more than 10 hours now I think about it, playing the new Hearthstone expansion, of course, the Witchwood expansion, and an exercise in pure frustration. I don't know, this expansion has been the most frustrating expansion I think I've ever played. Every game I just want to punch a hole in the wall, so I should probably stop playing it, really.
I mean, for the sake of your walls, possibly, but it's up to you.
And I refuse to play the top meta decks right now. I just refuse to do that. But it's like in every other expansion, I feel like I've been able to create my own kind of deck that's at least had some success. And I feel like right now, unless you play a Q block, and like Mr. Byte said, a Paladin deck, then you have no hope. And as far as Shadowwalk, yes, Shadowwalk. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that card, but it basically replays all of the battle cries that have been played during the entire match. from any other minions that are being played. So that means when people can play that card, and you can literally then be playing a game for 90 minutes. There was one guy who just sat there for 90 minutes of just this stupid card replaying the battle cries. So if you guys play Hearthstone, you'll be familiar with that. But I did have some minor success with a Murloc Paladin deck I created, and I just started playing a Prince Liam Paladin deck that I created, which having some minor success. So yeah, as Baked Snake says, Shudderwock is the new Yogg, except Shudderwock is about 1,000 times more annoying than Yogg. Yogg was entertaining. Shudderwock's kind of annoying. Anyway, so that's my little Hearthstone rant right now.
I have not played
go ahead.
Hearthstone in so long. These names you guys are throwing out, honestly, like they're terrifying me. I can never get back into the game at this point. I will have no idea what's going on.
It would be funny.
Oh, so Anchor's never even seen Corpuzorb Druid? That deck is ridiculous.
What? Bless you? What did you just say?
Corpuzorb Druid?
Oh my god.
It's the only deck that lets you have 8 creatures out on the field at the same time.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, totally.
Oh man.
It's possible Alex is trolling you, but just possible.
I wouldn't know. That's what I'm saying. I honestly, you guys could be like, the Flip Florb is a really cool card, and it costs 8 mana, and I'd be like, sure, okay, Flip Florb.
Yeah. So anyway, so that's my Hearthstone experience. I am looking forward to the single player mode, which I think is coming out next week, which is much like the dungeon runs in the last expansion. So I'm pretty excited about that. All right, Starfish, how about you? Have you played any games or read any good books recently?
I've not played very many games on account of I just dug out all the stuff from the boxes that was in my desk, including my headset and my controller earlier today. I did really briefly play Minute for a while this afternoon, which I don't know if that's a fairly new game that came out from Devolver Digital. And it's like a little adventure puzzle game thing. That you play 60 seconds at a time.
Okay, so each game lasts 1 minute?
Well, it's not that the game lasts a minute.
Isn't it
Kinda
that
hard to
you
explain.
have 60 seconds to play, and then like you die and go back to where you started, but like you have the knowledge then of what you learned in the past 60 seconds?
Right, yeah, that's more.
Yeah.
Actually, that game happens to be made by, if you've ever played Nuclear Throne, that's made by I think it's a Swedish company called Vlambeer, and they are the one half of that company is the guy that made Minute. So it comes from a very pedigreed developer. So there you go.
I also have read, or am reading, a good book right now called Space Opera, which is in tone a lot like Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy,
Ooh.
with more glitter.
Okay. With
I'm
more
in.
Glitter. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Who's it by?
I'm going to murder her name, Catherine M. Valent. I linked it in chat.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
All right. Okay. Anything else, Starfish?
Nope.
All right. Baked Snake says so Flash Gordon. Oh boy. All right. So moving on. This is the news. So we have a few news items here we're going to go through quickly. First item on the list here: Russia bans Twitch accidentally. So in multiple reports from users on Reddit and Twitter, and stories on both Engadget and Polygon, it would appear that Twitch was temporarily blocked in the entire country of Russia. It looks like Twitch was accidentally blocked when more than 20 million IP addresses were blocked to prevent the use of popular encrypted message sharing service Telegram along with multiple Amazon and Google IPs. A statement here said, "We have currently informed both companies that a significant number of IP addresses located in the clouds of these two services have fallen under the block on the basis of the court ruling to block Telegram." That was by Alexander Zarov, head of the Federal Service for Supervision of Communications, Information Technology, and Mass Media, which was reported by Reuters. So anyone from Russia who is visiting Twitch would receive a 2000 network error when attempting to watch Twitch streams. When I actually read the details of this and saw that the error message they get was a 2000 network error, it was rather amusing to me, because last night I was trying to watch Twitch and I was receiving a 2000 network error. So I don't know if somehow I accidentally got caught up in a temporary ban too, but so that's kind of interesting. 20
Twitch
million.
also banned in Russia.
Well, apparently, yeah.
I was gonna say, if you're a Russian agent, you have to tell us.
Sure I do. So yeah, that's interesting though. Blocking 20 million IP addresses just to basically shut down Telegram. I'm not familiar with that service, but it may not be something that's big in the West. I don't know.
So
Yeah, I think it's like one of, because there's a whole bunch of apps like this. I think over in the States we use different ones, but I think Russia's track record of letting people like freely communicate in secret is not great. So yeah,
I've heard that.
Just that probably one of a million copycats that do the same similar thing, and they were just like, this one's popular enough that we should actively do something about it.
Yeah. So that was an interesting little nugget of news.
did I miss if you said, because you put accidentally in quotes, so was it not accidental? Like they're just saying that it was because...
Well, it was accidentally in the fact that I don't think Twitch was intended to be part of the block. They just blocked 20 million IP addresses, and some of those happen to be part of some of the IP addresses used by Twitch. So
Yeah, so collateral damage basically.
Yeah,
so the block was deliberate. It just happened that Twitch was in the crossfire.
Yeah.
Russia, okay.
Can't say too much, don't want to get in on the bad side of Russia. So
Putin listens to the podcast, by the way.
Oh, he's a big fan. So, so funny story, not related to Putin, but so Starfish and I, we have the what are these jacket things we're wearing called?
Hoodies.
Thank you, hoodies.
We have hoodies.
Quake doesn't know what a hoodie is? This is a bigger news story.
Okay, fellow humans. So Starfish and I have Twitch hoodies, right? No big deal. But recently, in the last couple months, whenever we wear them out, we get people talking to us like, do you work for Twitch? Do you stream? What's the deal? Just because we're wearing the hoodies. And the reason why this is relevant to Putin is because we were at an Irish bar yesterday drinking some Guinness, and a guy comes up to us and says, do you guys work for Twitch? And we said, no, we're just big fans and we go to TwitchCon, etc. And then he started talking about streamers he liked, and he was asking us what games that we play, and I mentioned I play Hearthstone, and he talked about, well, you must know Disguised Toast then. So I said, yes, I know who Disguised Toast is. And I said, when we went to the last TwitchCon, we got to have dinner with Trump. And he kind of looked aghast and stared at us. And that's when I realized he thought I was talking about Trump, President Trump, not Trump, the Hearthstone streamer. So of course we clarified, and then we were laughing a little bit because I said, Trump is actually a huge fan of Twitch, and he looked at me again as if to say, I'm not sure if you're kidding or not. So
that actually reminds me, when I did, like I was talking about, I did 3 Magic the Gathering tournaments like yesterday, and while I was at one in a store here in Austin called Wonko's, I actually saw a streamer personality who lives in Austin. So small world. Real small world.
All right, moving on from Putin and Trump, we have The Attack banned. Kevin's in hot water. So, as many of you may be aware, the Twitch channel for the Attack Show, which is the spiritual successor to G4 TV's Attack of the Show, or Tech TV's The Screensavers, was recently banned for viewbotting. The show was the brainchild of Kevin Pereira, who explained the reasoning behind employing viewbots. Now, anyone who is looking at the images right now, I hope you really appreciate the quality of the imagery I got for you for this.
Yeah, tell me how you settled on shirtless Kevin Pereira. I need to know.
He was channeling 90s boy band Kevin.
Yeah,
That's
well,
that's Nick Lachey, 100%.
Yeah, that's
that guy right
exactly
there
what
is
I was
married to
thinking.
Jessica Simpson.
yeah, I thought that was the best pick to use of Kevin. And you would think that I used that pick because Kevin's in hot water, but I actually put the slogan "Kevin's in hot water" after I got the pick. So yeah. Anyway.
Good work.
So, in an interview between Kevin and Polygon, he's quoted as saying, "I tried to save jobs. I really did. And I hope that in the end I didn't do any irreparable damage to people's careers." He defended the deal by saying the channel would have ended much sooner without it and would absolutely do that deal again given the chance. He also claims that the show was not axed from Twitch due to his questionable viewership tactics, but that he actually decided to pull the plug himself while confessing to the viewbot accusations. Now, what I don't understand about that is if you actually go to the Attack channel, it does actually, I believe, show that it's banned. So, I thought it did.
Well, they have to ban him once he admits it, right?
I suppose, yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was going to be one of those, like, you can't fire me, I quit kind of situations.
Right.
One of those is like, oh yeah, you're going to ban me? Too late, I'm already out of here.
Yeah.
And then like, oh, well, we were going to ban you, so I guess we just still will. Yeah, so.
So I have to admit, I never did watch the Attack. I always meant to watch the Attack because I really love kind of live shows like that. You know, where there's people laughing at things in the background and things are a little off the wall and things go wrong and all that kind of stuff. But I never did get around to watching it. And apparently, he came up with the show in 2012, so it's been going for a while.
If only it was sustainable.
Yeah. Yeah, apparently, yeah, the viewership got too low. He tried to save jobs by employing viewbots, and yeah, that's the end of it.
Well, Mr. Pereira, if you want some advice on how to keep your streaming channel up and running, just like spend 12 hours watching Geek and Sundry. You'll figure it out.
Right.
They seem to be doing just fine.
Yep, that's for sure. All right, our next story is the KFC emote controversy. Or controversy, depending on which country you come from. You may like my byline, "We should have expected this." So last time we did a live podcast, I talked about the emote, the winner winner chicken dinner emote, and I'm just gonna recount this story by recounting what Trihex said about this. Okay, so he says, "Twitch, oh my god, dude. I feel bad for people of color right now on Twitch. You can't look past that. Someone's got to get it together, man. I'm laughing because I'm like dying inside. Do like no black people work at Twitch? What else do I even say to that? That's my reaction, dude. Holy shit." So, yeah. That, I mean, we could have expected the folks, the viewers on Twitch were going to use it in negative ways, but yeah, I thought that just recounting what Trihex had to say about it kind of gets the point across.
So for those that don't know, the emote was being used in like a racist manner, and that's where the controversy comes from. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, if it were, and like, obviously this wouldn't necessarily be true to this, I mean, so it wouldn't be true to KFC, but if it were just like, you know how like you've got like a whole like turkey or just like a whole chicken on a plate, and it's like all dressed up, it's got the little chef's hats on its feet and stuff.
Yeah.
Ready to eat. If that had been the emote, that probably would have worked fine.
Yeah.
But oh yeah, like it really honestly does demonstrate a severe lack of forethought. And I think there have been instances in the past where people have been like they've banned use of tryhard in their chat.
Yes.
So they've banned a global emote from their chat. It's just such a shitty situation, because it should be okay for there to be an emote of a black person on Twitch.
Yeah.
But Twitch, I guess, can't be trusted to use it responsibly.
You know, the only other thing I would say about this is of course it was a tie-in with KFC, and I never did get to see what that Colonel Sanders ghillie suit looked like. So
It looked stupid. I'm gonna spoil it for you. It looked awful. Yeah, Snake's right. I think it actually was Overwatch League that did it. I think that's correct. Because anytime there's a caster, or not a caster, but he's like a color commentary guy or like a host, Malik. I don't know what his last name is, but his name is Malik, and he's a high energy guy. He used to do some like hosting and interviews for E-League, if you'll recall, back during CS:GO E-League. And I think anytime he shows up on the screen, or even sometimes I think when Winston gets played, people were spamming it. It's like, come the fuck on, guys. How do you... I don't know. One of these days, they just need to enable sub chat on the Overwatch League and just be done with it.
Yeah. All right. Moving on. Traditional sports have more viewers, according to, I said, a 2008 survey. If it was a 2008 survey, absolutely. Hang on, one moment, please. Fixed. According to a 2018 survey by Limelight Network. So as you see there, you have some kind of professional football player doing the traditional dab of celebration, and Eloise, I believe, putting on her headphones there. So just to explain what absolutely you guys can see anyway. Let me bring up the story here real quick, because I am prepared. Why is this not coming up? Oh, here we go. All right. So I guess Limelight surveyed 3,000 gamers from France, Germany, Japan, South Korea, the UK, and the United States. 48% were 48.9% were female, 51.1% were male, and it looks like here, yeah. So it looks like on average people spent 2.97 hours a week watching video games or esports, compared to 4.15 hours a week watching traditional sports online or by television. But I think, you know, and this was the reason this story was, the kind of way this story was touted was to refute recent articles that imply video game watching now has a bigger audience than traditional sports. This guy says, after researching the source of the information, I've come up with the opinion it's not the case. This is on Forbes.com. Now, I guess it really just depends how you measure it, right? Doing a quick survey of 3,000 people to see whether they watch more games or more traditional sports, I'm not sure really tells the story. I would probably bet that we're coming up on esports exceeding traditional sports in some markets, but yeah, I don't know. What do you think, guys?
So I looked at this survey, and if I read that chart right, the largest segment surveyed was people between the ages of like 41 and 60. So I gotta help, but like if you ask a whole bunch of like 55-year-olds, hey, do you watch football or do you watch Twitch? Which do you like to do? Right. I feel like the answer's pretty obvious. So for it to even be as close as it is, means that probably those younger people are watching a shitload of games being streamed. So if that isn't the indication to you that esports is, if it isn't already actually dominant, it's gonna be very quickly. That's your tell, because for most of the sampling body, over half to be between 36 and 60, and for games to still perform that well is significant.
Yeah, it's interesting though. They say that they surveyed 3,000 gamers. So I guess I don't.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah, I guess I'm gonna say about this. Yeah, so this is the ESA. If you're not familiar, that's the Electronic Software Association, or it might be the Entertainment Software Association. ESA. That's like the big. It's like almost the lobbying body of the game industry. Now it's their job pretty much to act as the representative body for gaming at large, and kind of be like, look how big gaming is doing. You should take gaming more seriously. You should pass some gaming related legislations, or whatever thing. They call anybody who plays a video game a gamer, which is, I think, intellectually dishonest at least. Because like if my mom logs in and plays Bubble Witch Saga on her PC, by her definition,
Right.
she's a gamer. And I think we could all agree that this is at least my take, is that gaming is cultural. Like playing a game doesn't make you a gamer. Like keeping up with the news or being like actively involved with the community, going to conventions, you know, having the swag, like actually ever entering a GameStop or something for yourself once in your life. That's what makes you a gamer. But it suits the ESA to kind of lump everybody into one big column. In the same way that, like, just because I go to a restaurant, you wouldn't call me a foodie. Right. But I'm sure that if there were a lobbying body for sit-down restaurants, they'd be like, look at all these foodies. Look at all these foodies coming to our restaurants. So yeah, saying that they serve 3,000 gamers means absolutely nothing, because it really says zero about what they're playing or anything for that matter.
Agreed. So Baked Snake says, I recognize Eloise, I don't recognize the American football guy.
Is that not Tebow? I don't know.
Does Tebow dab? I don't know.
I don't fucking know. I don't know. I just assume every white guy who's posing is Tim Tebow. Is that fair?
Alex, come on.
I mean, clearly I didn't just go into Google and type American football player dabbing. Totally didn't do that. So
you went looking for dabbing. How dare you, Quig? This reminds me, before we move on, so I've met Eloise in person. I actually met Eloise and Reckful the same weekend at South by Southwest. This was back when I worked for ACC, so we had a booth there, and Reckful came by and tried out some of our games that we had made for the school, and then Eloise came by separately, and she's the sweetest human being. I don't know if you've ever like all her shtick, like she seems super nice, like on the stream, and she's just being, you know, the nice girl on Twitch, you know, whatever, that kind of thing. But like she is so cool, and she like looked at the game I made, and we like talked about what we do, and she was just like, oh, okay, cool, all right, bye, and like just so she hung out at our booth for like 3 minutes. I was like, what are you? She must have just been like, because she was there for a tournament, she must have just been supremely bored between matches or something, because she was, I think, just making the rounds, and she had her Tempo Storm jersey on and everything, and
yeah.
And then I had to tell people when they left, I was like, did you know who that was? She's famous on the internet. So yeah, that was a trip. That was kind of cool.
Very cool. All right, our last story of our little story segment here is, yeah, I had to bring this image back because it was so successful last time, but Logan Paul's first Twitch stream, it went exactly as you'd expect. So we talked a little bit last time about Logan Paul's upcoming Twitch career. And on April 8th, Logan Paul started his first Twitch stream, but to no one's surprise, it took only a few minutes for his chat to become overrun by trolls. Shortly after the stream started, it was heavily spammed with obscene messages in his chat. Drawings of penises flooded the chat within minutes. Paul's mic was muted shortly after while his team took care of the obscene imagery. There are so many dicks, one of his producers said on stream. We got spammed so fast, said another. Eventually, when I'm an affiliate, the chat is going to be sub-only because it gets crazy, Paul said. Wow.
When he's an affiliate.
Right, and that was...
You can't see it, but I'm doing the hardest jerking off motion that I possibly can. When I'm an affiliate.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was... Really, this me bringing this story up was an excuse just to use that image again, because I spent so much time making it last time, giving him those beautiful purple Twitch tattoos on his biceps. So.
You're a true artist, Quig. We appreciate you.
All right, and that is the news for this week. I'm sure there were no other more important stories than the stories we covered.
Those are the only ones.
I only put the important stuff on our list.
Yeah. Just to be clear, you didn't put Logan Paul on the list. I
did not. I did not put Logan Paul on the list. I try and avoid putting Logan Paul on the list.
Logan Paul should be on no lists. Let me just tell you right now.
Oh, he's on my
all
list.
Future lists. No.
I'll take it one step further. We should fire him into space. I'm willing to commit to this. Are you guys?
We can put that on a list.
List of people to be shot into space. That would be a long list. I can think of a few.
All right. Let me. I'm gonna switch scene, and this is gonna be just so smooth right now. All right, there we go. The title changed. New Twitch analytics. That's all switching scenes does. Changes the title. That said, I believe. Hang on. So this is gonna be real smooth because I'm gonna get this. Nope. Get out of there.
See, Quig, this is why you need the Elgato Stream Deck.
I do need the Elgato Stream Deck. Yeah.
I have it. It's cool.
So, nobody look at what I just showed on screen while I was moving Discord over. One moment, please. All right. I just got to get Starfish's link here. Okay, here we go. So I didn't prepare for this story at all in any way. So this is gonna kind of be off the cuff a little bit, but Anchor said we should talk about this. So whenever Anchor tells me we should talk about something, I just follow her lead. So here's the news. Track your channel's growth with the new channel analytics page. Starfish, am I looking at the right thing here?
Yeah, click the image and it'll make it big.
Wow, look at that. It made it big. So what am I looking at here? Why are we looking at this?
So what they've done here is they've given us more information about whether our revenue is coming from paid subs or Twitch Prime subs, which enables the streamer or the person getting all of these wonderful sub points to better know whether or not that sub is likely to stick, because the Twitch Prime subs, they come and go.
So there's some actually really interesting information buried here about upcoming changes. I think here's how I view it from Twitch's perspective. Fortnite has blown Twitch up. The amount of new traffic that they are getting is intense. And we see it because we thought like, oh, all these kids are just going to sign up for Twitch and they're going to get their Fortnite skins and they're going to leave. It's been a month. And what the numbers are showing us is that they're not leaving. They're hanging out. They might not be Twitch Prime subbing anymore, but they're not going anywhere. Like, this is just a huge increase in, basically it was just exposure. Like, the whole promotion gave Twitch the exposure that now people are, or kids specifically, probably a lot of the younger set, people who would probably watch YouTube for their gaming content, now they're seeing Twitch and like, oh, this is the place that I go to watch games. So for Twitch, the idea of promoting Prime is a big deal, because not only is it a way for the viewers to, get more loot, and you can bet your ass there's going to be way more promotions like this. But additionally, it is a way for the streamers to make more money as well. If people are going to keep signing up for, even trial or even full accounts to get the benefit of that loot. So what they want people to do, and you see that if you watched Ninja recently, you see that like he has a pop-up. It's an automatic pop-up every 3 minutes, and it pops up and it says, have you heard of Twitch Prime? If you haven't, you should. And it has an animation of a cursor going over to the subscribe button and clicking on it. It's like a little interstitial graphic that he uses to remind people to sub. And he'll even say during the stream, like, he'll say, oh, have you guys heard of Twitch Prime? You should check and see if you've got a Prime sub right now. And he does it, and he gets like 100 or 200 Prime subs just suddenly. So people just have it sitting around. And so I think what the goal of this is to demonstrate the value of Twitch Prime and get streamers more actively involved in promoting it and making sure that people are actually spending them. Does that make sense?
Yes.
It makes sense to me.
Yeah, so that is I think where this is all coming from. It's worth saying at the same time, buried in this same story, there is a what is it? Oh, it says here, coming soon you'll be able to find new relevant stats to help you grow by seeing which channels and games your viewers are watching when they aren't watching your content. With that information, you'll be better equipped to decide when to stream, what to stream, or who to collaborate with, for example. So I will not only be able to see who my viewers go to watch when I'm not live, I'll also get to see what games they watch. What do you watch when you're not watching me? And then that becomes a clue for what can I play to potentially hang on to your viewership. I think this is interesting both because it kind of gives you more exposure into the behavior, because really up to this point, analytics has not told you jack shit about the behavior of your viewers. It tells you what they're watching from, but like whether you're watching from an iPad or not is not going to fundamentally change how I'm streaming. What will change how I'm streaming is knowing that after you're done watching me, you go and you watch Quake Champions or whatever. Because if I can play Quake Champions and hang on to you, then hell yeah, I'm going to do that. So really, really, really cool stuff. This is valuable data.
Alex, is this what categories do my viewers watch? Is this currently live? Because I'm not seeing it on the analytics page.
No, that is coming soon. It's under, it says here it's coming soon. You'll be able to find new relevant stats. So that is still in the pipeline. And how old is this news post? This is pretty 17th. So it's about a week old, less than a week.
Yeah, April 17th. Yeah.
So my guess is probably, knowing the rate at which Twitch implements stuff, I would guess this is probably another month or two out. But yeah, still really cool. Really excited for that data. Not that I think I personally will have a whole lot to do with it, but I do believe that we're going to see a lot of in a strange way, it might cause a homogenization.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you see all your viewers leave, maybe if you play a niche game, but you see all your viewers leave and they all go watch Fortnite, probably you play more Fortnite. So probably what it might lead to is a trend of people consolidating into a few kind of mainstay games and fighting for territory that's kind of already overcrowded. I don't know if that's the case, but it's worth thinking about.
You know what will be interesting too is if they require, I'm wondering if to see this information there's going to be any minimum level of viewers you have to have on your stream. And the reason I say that is because if any of you are familiar with filling out surveys for engagement surveys for like a workplace, usually there's a minimum number of people who respond to be able to see the details of the survey, because it's supposed to be anonymized data, right? If you only have five people respond, then it's pretty easy to figure out who said what, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm wondering if you're a very small stream, if you'll still have access to this data, because if you know who your viewers are, then, although I guess it's not particularly private information, so I don't know, it's interesting.
Yeah, that's true, because you could really roll into streams and look for somebody and find them. So fundamentally, there's not anything like super private about it.
Yeah.
And then also, if if you're Twitch friends with somebody, they can see what you're watching and things like that.
I was going to say
so.
that, yeah, they can. So it's
Well,
pretty...
there is a way to toggle that on and off, right? Because, for example,
true.
I'm friends with a couple of people who, like, I know they're online right now, but there's nothing, like, to the right of their online status. So I think you can set that to private. So maybe there's going to be a way you can opt out of this analytics piece. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah. I don't want people to know that I'm watching Hello Kitty Island Adventures for most of the time, so.
Yeah, Bake Snake said the same thing. So you guys can be anonymous together.
I mean, if you just told me that's what you wanted to watch, I could stream that. That doesn't bother me. And that's like 30% not a joke. I have played Hello Kitty online before. Like, people say Hello Kitty Island Adventure because that's like the South Park one. There really is a real Hello Kitty online where you beat snails with magic wands and they fall over and they don't die. You just loot their snail bits and then they come back to life and they just keep walking around again. Like, it's just the most bizarre. Yeah, well, like, like you kill a snail and it's like you get like snail shell or whatever. So I just knock you the fuck out with a wand and then I take your shell and then you just get back up and I guess regenerate a shell and you're fine. And then he just keeps crawling around. So yeah, it's weird. It's not very good. And I played it probably like 8 years ago. So I don't know if it's still running, but it was definitely a thing.
Yeah, definitely sounds like it's time to pull that out again.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Any more comments on the Twitch stats we should talk about? No. All right. Okay, we'll move on to our final item here, which is macros in XSplit. And once again, we're going to do this is pretty smooth, guys. Hang on. I am totally prepared for this, and this transition. Oh, look at that! That was so smooth. Alex, how would you like me to navigate for this discussion?
As far as navigating the page?
Yeah.
You can just leave it right here. That's fine.
Okay. I'll zoom in a little bit, and I'll just let you talk. Whoops. There we go. That was too far.
So, people who know me know that I'm a big fan of XSplit. And I occasionally get the question, Alex, why would you pay 10 or however much, I think I pay $15 for 3 months of XSplit or $25 for 3 months of XSplit. People are like, Alex, why would you pay for a streaming software? And the answer that I give them is because of stuff like this. This is an amazing little piece of XSplit is probably, and XSplit has really positioned itself as the, I would say, premium streaming software, in part because I think they are developing features like this that are kind of unique in that other streaming software is not doing. So we're in a crowd where you've got, some competition for XSplit. So you've got OBS and now Streamlabs OBS, and they kind of do the same thing as a new streaming software called Bebo, which you might also be familiar with. And both are kind of aimed at simplifying the streaming experience, and also they've got like built-in overlays, and so it's they're kind of more catered to the fledgling streamer, I think. So if they're for the new streamer, I think XSplit is now for the power user. It's for the streamer who really wants to do advanced stuff with their stream software. And so these macros, this new feature is one example. Basically what they are is it's a way to program simple behaviors using drop-down menus, and then those behaviors get triggered at specific times or in response to specific events, and you can use those to control the way that your stream performs. So I'll give you an example. There's actually some really cool ones on this blog. If you ever want to check it out, there's a lot of great examples. So one example they gave us, for example, and you've already been able to do some of this stuff with kind of keyboard shortcuts for a while. So like you could press a keyboard shortcut and change scenes. But what this lets you do is that a single macro can actually perform a bunch of different functions. So you could swap scenes, and then you could or you could set a custom transition for a scene transition, and then swap to the scene, and then enable a source, and then you can put in waits. So you could have a wait for a moment, or you could have it automatically switch to a different scene once a certain media file starts playing. So if you're a streamer and you want to show your stream intro, and then you automatically want it to go to your main scene, you can set that up with behaviors. So those can be triggered by key presses. They can be triggered by, they can happen at regular intervals. So you could have something happen I think you specify how frequently in milliseconds you want it to happen. So I could have a little logo, my Twitter pop up every 30 milliseconds automatically, and I could have it appear and then wait and then have it disappear, just toggle it on and off, things like that. So there's actually a lot of control over what you can do, and it's just in beta right now. But my expectation is by the time that it's done, it will actually be very meaty. And in fact, for people who have the technology background to do it, it also allows you to use custom scripts. So you can script your own triggers and your own resulting behaviors. You can do pretty much whatever you want with it. So from a flexibility perspective, I think for people who are programmers or having some experience programming, I think this is going to take the lid off of XSplit and make it easier than ever for people to do just really, really cool stuff.
That sounds cool. It's kind of funny because you mentioned periodically showing your Twitter information.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when quite a while ago when I was doing a stream, I wanted to make what appeared to be a random image a random GIF appear on the screen every X number of minutes or something like that. So here's the way I did that. So actually in XSplit right now, you can have a gallery of images, and then you can tell it to go through those images, and those images can be GIFs, and you can say how much time between each image to change the image, right, from that gallery.
Yeah.
So the way I hacked this to work was I told it to pick a random image, and then in the folder that it's picking those images from, I put in, you'll laugh at this, I put in hundreds of 1 pixel transparent GIFs, so that it would basically randomly, on a random interval, would pick the actual image, because every other time it's picking a 1 pixel transparent GIF. This sounds like much better way to do that. So
that blows my mind. I didn't know that you did that.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. The thing that's cool about macros is, like I said, because it lets you program whatever you want fundamentally. You could, with the right background, you could write a custom script that just picks stuff out of a folder at random. And I think what we might see, and this is really what I want to see, because these days what we have is when streamers want to enhance their stream, but they don't have the the wherewithal. They're not like good artists. So like if I don't know how to draw, I pay an emote artist to make my emote. If I don't really know how to do like Photoshop or like, logo making, I pay somebody to do like, the graphic design for my stream, like do my opening and closing and my offline image. If I, need a bot, then you go and you find a bot that's out there, or you hire somebody to make custom bot functionality for you or whatever. So there's a lot of ways to pay people to kind of enhance your stream. I think the one part that has been neglected is the production part of the stream. Like there's nobody out there, I think, right now that's making cool extensions for XSplit or production, utilities to make the stream run smoother or look cooler. So I think if it becomes easier, kind of more accessible to write custom behaviors for streams, things like this, I think we might see that spring up where we've got people that are basically on commission to make you custom production elements. I think that'd be really awesome.
Yeah, no, that sounds very cool. Just as a point of interest, so I use XSplit, you use XSplit. Anchor, what are you using as your software right now?
I am currently using Streamlabs OBS. It was having some issues last week though, so I actually tried Bebo for the first time, and it's pretty cool as well. But mostly OBS, Streamlabs OBS.
Got it.
They feel strikingly similar, right?
Yes.
Like it almost feels like they're almost identical. From a features perspective, they do pretty much all the same stuff, and they've got the library of like alerts and stuff built into.
Which one, Bebo and Streamlabs OBS, or OBS and Streamlabs OBS?
Bebo and Streamlabs OBS.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, it's kind of uncanny. It's kind of weird that they kind of arrived at the same place at the same time, it feels like. I also have to wonder how much use the built-in overlays get. Like, I really do. Because I'm not sure because I'm sure a lot of work went into making, like, basically a library of overlays and, building the functionality for the software so that they can just be popped in, ready to go. It seems like a lot of work for something that I think ultimately people don't keep for long, you know what I mean? Like, usually if you're serious about streaming, I think some people do keep those kind of like default elements for a long time. But I think that most people who are going to stick with it kind of... So I wonder if it's just eye candy to entice people to like get them in the door, or is it something that they expect that people are actually using long term?
I mean, I use the overlays that are in there. I used it for Bebo and I use it for Streamlabs OBS. But mostly I think that's because I don't necessarily have the skill, I guess, or I haven't taught myself how to create my own overlays. I don't necessarily have hardly even enough time to stream to hit that go live button.
Oh,
so
yeah,
I
I've been there.
definitely don't have enough time to build my own overlays. So I think that's where I like the convenience of it, is that I can kind of pick and choose, like, oh, this looks really cool with this game that I'm playing, and use one of the layouts that's already in there.
That's
so
fair.
I'll change it up between the libraries. But yeah, I definitely do not have time to make my own overlays, so I appreciate that they're there.
See, I've always just been very anti-overlay personally. Like usually for me, it's my cam and I get a little camera wrapper and that's it. And some days I even go without the camera wrapper. So maybe it's just a personal preference thing. So maybe more people appreciate those overlays than I think. But for me, it's definitely like I just see them and I'm like, what do you expect me to do with this?
Yeah, and I definitely like the more minimalist ones than some of the really crazy, like animated. You got like shimmers going down your cam and all your stuff's animated. I mean, like those are cool for certain like streaming personalities maybe, or like a specific game that you're doing, or maybe you're an IRL streamer, so you want to have a lot of stuff going on to like enhance your IRL stream. But I find a lot of that stuff really distracting. So I try to just go as minimalist as possible.
No, I agree. I think a lot of it is really visually overwhelming. And I just look at it, I'm like, oh my God, I can't do this. But yeah, overall, I would say the stuff that they're adding to XSplit, I think I was reading more about what they're adding to it. So we'll probably get more built-in triggers and more actions going forward. Like if you look at this blog post, I think you scroll down to it for a second quick, but there's a whole section. If you're an IRL streamer and you have XSplit running, it can automatically start and stop your stream when it detects that you are starting your base, because I think it's called RTMP is how you basically stream the information to from your phone to XSplit so it can stream it up to the web. So it can automatically detect when it's going, when your RTMP is up and down, and bring your stream up and down accordingly. And for the down action, you can even set it so there's a delay. So even if there's like a little break where your cell signal isn't good, the stream doesn't go down. It stays up until X amount of time has passed without a signal. So it looks really flexible and really cool. So like I said, it can even bring your stream up and down. That's how powerful it is. You can tell it to do a lot of cool stuff. And if they eventually add Elgato Stream Deck support, which I really hope they do, then it'll be even cooler. Being able to just change scenes. Well, I can already change scenes with the buttons, but being able to also like change sources and have like a bunch of complex behaviors associated with it all at once would be crazy. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, no, that sounds very cool. So is this, you said this was, is it in the most recent version or coming in the next version?
Yeah, believe it or not, and this is where I apparently slept on this. This blog post that we're looking at is from February.
So it is. Yeah, there you go.
And it was live then. So yeah, so it's actually a couple months old. I think we're going to see another iteration on it soon by the looks of things.
Very cool. All right. Anything else we should talk about on XSplit there, Alex?
No, aside from saying that I think it's an excellent piece of software, and I think some people I think are a little hesitant to pay money for streaming software just because they don't feel like they don't have to. But things like macros, things like XSplit brings 3D transform to the table, so you can move around the way that you can even like have things kind of be like positioned like they're 3-dimensional. And so I've used that for a couple of my scenes. I think it's got some really cool integrations. It's neat. I think it's a great piece of streaming software, and I really highly recommend it.
Yeah, no, we're actually broadcasting with XSplit right now. And just so anyone who's listening, we are not sponsored by XSplit in any way, shape, or form. If XSplit would like to reach out to us for a sponsorship deal, though, Alex would be happy to receive that information. So. Yeah,
I wouldn't say no to free license. Hell yeah, hook it up. Well, lifetime license of XSplit I think costs like $200. Send me the $200. I will pimp your software forever. I don't care.
55% discount on that right now.
Oh god.
There you go. Lifetime license, mega sale. I don't know what that means. It doesn't say how much that is, but
to be fair, I feel like it's always on mega sale. I don't think I've ever looked at this at a point where like they weren't like there's a discount. Like never.
Yeah, it's always 100. Yeah, you go. $200 for a lifetime license. There you go. Mega sale promo. But all right. Very cool. So I think that's all we have, unless anyone has anything else. Any of the pod champions have any other topics we'd like to talk about, or if there's anyone in chat who has anything they'd like us to talk about. I'll give you a few seconds to think about that. While we stare at a beautiful picture of Logan Paul.
No, Quig, it burns.
It burns? Come on. It's a beautiful
He's got this face on him like he's allergic to smiling.
I don't know.
Listen, I appreciate your artistry, Quig, but like it makes me want to vom a little. Like,
does it really?
His face. I just can't.
I'd be more
there you go. This is better.
I'm revealing the magic of how I do this now. That it's totally not a PowerPoint presentation.
Hashtag not a PowerPoint.
There you go.
PowerPoint, it's the future. Why aren't you using Google Sheets?
There you go, right there. But,
Perfect.
Okay.
All right. All right. Thanks everyone for tuning in today. We appreciate your time. Thank you to Alex, Anchor, and Radioactive Starfish for joining us in this live PodChamp podcast. We will play you out with a little bit of our beautiful music, and let's see. Here we go. Thank you, everyone. Goodbye.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
See ya, shitlords.